And welcome to part 5 of my Fall of Cybertron Combaticon video reviews. I do apologize for the gap in between videos. There's just been a lot going on in my life. I've been sick, I've been applying to college, so I haven't had time to shoot a video, but now I do, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot it. As you can see, this time we will be reviewing my favorite Combaticon, and that, as you can see, is Swindle. Part of it is I just really love Swindle as a character, not so much in the video game, because like I've been saying, I've never played the video game, but I just loved him in the cartoon. I thought that he was cool. I just really liked Swindle. I mean, he was sick, he was a businessman, which you don't see in Transformers too often. He was just a really, really cool character. I liked Swindle a lot. Anyway, as you can see, in vehicle mode, he forms this kind of dune buggy type thing. I found Cybertron, they had dune buggies. I suppose this is what it would look like. But it's pretty cool. There's not a whole lot to say about it. I should mention that mine is broken. I'll go ahead and show that off real quick. Right here, there are usually two tabs to stabilize the figure. They go into these two slots right here. Mine broke off within 3 days of me getting this guy and transforming him a couple of times in between robot mode, Bruticus mode, and vehicle mode, so I would be really, really careful with those tabs. I wasn't applying any excessive force on them. It just seemed like they were made of really cheap, brittle plastic, so I would be careful when transforming this guy. Those tabs are very, very breakable. Anyway, not a whole lot to say about it. He does roll fairly well, which is nice. He does have a removable gun. I personally like to leave it on, but it looks pretty cool either way, with it on and without it on. Yeah, really, really cool little vehicle mode. To get him into limb mode, it's really simple. You want to go back here, you want to flip these black pieces up. These will form Bruticus's toes. Then you want to take this piece, you want to lift it up, and then you want to rotate it around, and then you want to push it forward, like this, in order to get the connector point up. And then rotate it all the way up, and then raise this up, and put it down. With these pieces, you can flip them down if you want. I personally like to flip them up, just because I think it looks a little bit better, but yeah. And there's foot mode, and really there's not a whole lot to say about it. It's just a foot. Anyway, to get him into robot mode, fairly simple. Go ahead and flip this piece all the way back down like so. Then what you want to do is you want to take these pieces, you want to untab them. These will form his arms. Then you want to split this whole assembly and lower it down. These will form his legs. Then what you want to do is you want to take this whole assembly and you want to rotate it around. And then you want to bring this whole chest piece down. Actually, you don't want to do that quite yet. What you want to do is you want to take these pieces and you want to lift them up like so. And then get them until they're straight. And then rotate this whole assembly down and around. And then what you want to do is you want to take these black pieces and you want to put them at an angle because they're going to go into these little slots right here on his waist, like so. And you can bend them down as you accordion the chest down in order to get them to stay and go in. Then you want to push on this piece. This will form his head. It can be, actually you want to do that before you tab in these pieces. There we go. Tab that in. And just straighten him out like so. Then rotate these pieces back. Rotate these pieces around. You can leave them flip forward if you like. I personally like the look of them flip back. But like I said, it's all up to you. Rotate those around, and then just straighten everything out, and then give him his gun. And there you have. Oh yeah, you can also flip these pieces forward if you like. You can leave them back. It doesn't really look bad either way, but I personally like the look of them flip forward as opposed to having them flip back. And there you have Swindle in robot mode. And like I said, he just looks really cool. He looks probably the most like his G1 counterpart in terms of looks. He looks nice. I really like the look of this guy. Like I said, I don't know how accurate he is to the game. The box art portrays him in a fairly accurate way. It looks fairly close to this, but like I said, I've never played the game, so I don't know how accurate it is to the game, but it just looks really cool overall. I just like the look of him. The one complaint I do have is, as you can see, his face is black. He does have the purple eyes, which is a nice touch, but they painted his face totally black. They didn't put any silver paint on it at all, and unfortunately, you can't take it apart in order to paint it. I guess you could take a Sharpie if you wanted, if you were really careful, but I'm not really that good with Sharpie markers to paint his face silver, but you can't take it apart because it's unfortunately constructed in such a way that no screws hold it in. It's just molded onto the joint that his head sits on, so there's no way you can take it apart in order to get a cleaner angle in which to paint his face silver, which I think is a real shame because he's got some really nice silver, as you can see with these tailpipes. But I really wish that they had painted his face silver. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know. That was just really, really weird to me. The same could go with the pipes, too. I suppose the pipes wouldn't have looked bad colored silver, but, no, what are you going to do? Anyway, for his articulation is pretty good. His head rotates left and right. It doesn't go up and down unless you count the joint it uses for transformation, but even then it doesn't really make that much of a difference. His head can only go down. He does have ball-jointed shoulders, which are nice. He does rotate 360 degrees at the shoulder. He does have a little bit of a pivot on his shoulder too, just due to the way that it transforms, but it's not really that useful. He does have ball-jointed elbows, which is nice. They go up and down and rotate back and forth, which is nice. He does have a waist joint, which is nice. His legs are on ball joints. I should mention, mine came with 2 left thighs, which I thought was pretty strange. I swapped them out, so you can't really tell. But his did come with 2 left thighs, which I thought was kind of weird. But, oh, what are you going to do for it? It doesn't affect transformation or articulation at all. It just doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing as it would if he had a right and left thigh. But mine came with 2 left thighs, so it looks kind of weird. But anyway. He does bend at the knee, which is nice. The knee joint is cut a little low, but it's not that bad, and it still can be used, so that's nice. And his feet do go up and down if you want to use them. They're not really that useful, but they are there if you want to use them, which is nice. So yeah, overall, really, really nice little figure. Definitely my favorite of the pack. If I had to pick up one figure alone and not care about forming Bruticus, which I don't think you should do, because I think if you're going to get these guys, you should get all of them to form Bruticus. But if you were, for some reason, wanting to get just one of the Combaticons, make it this guy. This guy is far and above the best of the lot. I think he's really cool. And speaking of the lot, I've been wanting to do this ever since I started this video series. We're going to compare him to all of the Fall of Cybertron Combaticons. There we got him with Vortex. Here we have Blastoff. Here we have Brawl. And, of course, their leader, Onslaught. And as you can see, you know, neon colors and all, they make a really, really nice looking team. I think all of these guys, faults and all, are a really, really nice purchase. And just to have them all sit together looking really, really cool. Of course, they do form into Bruticus, and we'll get into that in the next video, but I do think they overall worth purchasing alone just to have the 5 of them sitting with each other, because I do think that they look really, really cool. But we'll get into Bruticus in the next video, because that's really where the awesomeness occurs, I think. So yeah, overall, a really, really cool little figure. Oh, really quick, I suppose I should do a standard size comparison. Forgot about that. Here he is next to Bumblebee, and as you can see, something that had not happened up until Hasbro announced the relaunch, or not relaunch, the resizing, I suppose, is the better word. The resizing of the Transformer, of the main Transformer lines. You can see he actually is taller than the average Deluxe. He definitely has about half a head over Bumblebee, which I think is really cool. So yeah, overall, like I was saying, my favorite figure of the lot by far. Very, very cool. Definitely worth a purchase. All of these guys are worth a purchase. Like I said, I don't think that if you don't like the Fall of Cybertron look, none of these guys are going to change your mind and make you like it. And I think you should skip out on the line if that's the case. But if you do like the look, which I happen to, all these guys are definitely worth a purchase, especially this guy. This guy is far and above the best of the Fall of Cybertron Combaticons as individuals. Now, next video we will get into Bruticus, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.